Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church in Columbia, South Carolina, where we're part of the ELCA. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. It's an eerie experience, one that I doubt many of you have had. Hammering a nail into a cross brings up all sorts of feelings, and as you have probably seen, many churches have an outdoor cross at this time that they drape with a cloth. You may not know that that cloth is intended to be reminiscent of the way they lowered people down from the cross by draping the cloth under their arms and across their chest and then lowering the dead person to the ground. It's a powerful symbol, but the wind often isn't very kind and blows that cloth off of the cross in front of our churches. My solution is to nail that cloth into the cross every year. I remember one time of doing that especially. On Easter Sunday, the first thing I always do is get to the church well before sunrise and then to hang up the white cloth on that cross to proclaim our Easter joy to our community when they wake up. I remember one year noticing how quiet and still it was as I draped the cloth. Then, as I drove the nails on each side of the crossbeam and stepped back to take a look, and as I did that, I stared at that white cloth, and I couldn't help noticing that the birds were now singing. There's something about how birds sing that seems so joyful and full of life. No matter when it is, birds seem to sing out Easter joy. That Easter morning, as I began in silence, hung the cloth to proclaim Easter, the birds responded in exuberant joy. Birds are often a sign of spring, and we look for that first robin to know that cold, bleak winter is over. This week we are focusing on the things that mark springtime and how they point to Easter. If it's not obvious already, today we're going to talk about birds. My church at the beach used to hold a sunrise service on the beach each Easter morning, and part of that service was to read the creation story from Genesis. As the gentle roar of the waves crashing on the beach provided the background, we heard about God creating light and land and animals, birds and people. One year my mother was there, and later that day she asked me how I did that. And I said, "What?" And she said, "When you were reading the part about God creating the birds, a flock of seagulls flew over." Well, of course, I didn't do that, but I could sure appreciate the image. As we heard again the story and marveled at God's creation, at the right time birds flew over. It's easy for us to marvel at birds in flight, too. The wonder and joy implied in birds on the wing captivate us. It's pure freedom. Maybe that's what St. Paul was talking about in Romans 8. He wrote, "Therefore there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus." It is one of the most liberating sentences ever written. It is the gospel in a single breath. It is the sound of our chains falling, of doors opening, of wings lifting. We are free in Christ Jesus from all that weighs us down and burdens us. We can burst into song and our hearts can take flight in joy. Our spirits soar. It's a gift of grace. But Easter means more than that for daily life. Yes, we are free from our sin, but that also means we are free for living God's way. You see, Christian freedom doesn't lead us inward, it leads us outward. Luther said that a Christian is a perfectly free Lord of all, subject to none, and also a perfectly dutiful servant of all, subject to all. Freedom expresses itself in love. When the weight of guilt is lifted, our hands are free to serve. When fear is gone, our hearts are free to give. When condemnation is silenced, our voices are free to sing. This spring, I hope you watch the birds. I hope you listen to their joy. I hope you see their freedom in flight. I hope you let them be a parable for your own living. You have been set free from all that burdens you. You are set free to live in love. The sky is open. The Spirit is moving. Grace is lifting you. Take wing and fly. Thanks for sharing these moments with me. And remember to let this day belong to God.